By the special grace of God, I'm just led this moment to speak to men of God and women of God who are young preachers, young ministers of the gospel, young music artists, as many of you, by the grace of God, who have been blessed by God with a particular gift or talent. This message is for you this moment. I just want to let you understand that God has given you a gift and God gave you a talent, and there is no doubt about it. One of the things we are seeing today is that everyone, majority of the young people want to be like their papas and mamas in the Lord. But many of us who are young ministers of the gospel of God today, we don't want to go through the seasons of training, the seasons of academic education, moral education for us to get to where God is taking us to. But before we go further, I want to give you a surprise. It is possible for God to tell you, young man, young woman, I've called you to be a man of God. I've called you to become a woman of God. I've called you to be a voice to your generation. One of the things we have discovered today is many young people always hear these voices. And the first thing they do is to jump into ministry. The first thing they do is to open a church. And because you are so excited and passionate about what you want to do, but you are not doing the will of God concerning your life, the first thing any preacher needs to do, the first thing any minister needs to do when God gives you that message, either to you directly or through somebody, the first question you ask God is, God, what next? God, I know you told me this. I know you see me as your vessel. What else do you want me to do? And that is that question that is missing today. And this is the primary reason why many young men or women of God today are messing up on the altar. You want to make money. Let me just surprise you. Ministry is not a profession. Everybody today is jumping into it. Young men and women today, just because you can preach, just because you can speak in tongues, just because you can sing some wonderful music, doesn't mean that the timing you are in today is the right timing. One thing you got to understand, that God works with time. And you don't have to miss out the timing of God for your life. If God has told you to be a minister of the gospel, the first question you have to ask God is, God, please give me clarity. Give me direction. Moses asked for direction. Joshua asked for direction. Gideon asked for direction. Even Jesus asked his father for direction. Why wouldn't you sit down, spend some time with God, and allow God to give you clarity over the ministry he's about to put you in? Many Christians today, many young men of God today are no longer waiting on God to give them direction. All they do is to wake up in the morning and say God has called them to become pastors, and they open churches and open different places and they start to preach and get members. One of the things you find out is that what they preach is not the heartbeat of God. And that is what many of us started so well. Look around today, you see the love of many are waxing cold. The love of many is waxing cold today. Many people were preaching the sound messages of the gospel of the kingdom many years ago. The first love you had with God was so intact. It was so sturdy. It was so authentic. And all of a sudden, just because of the affairs of life, because of the lust of the eyes, the lust of the flesh, and the pride of life, many of us today are deviating from the will of God concerning us. I want to let us understand, young men and women of God, it is time to go back to the drawing board and ask God what His will for you is. If you are getting into ministry for the wrong reasons, if you are jumping into ministry for the wrong reasons, I want to tell you something, you will crash on the way. Many days are for the thief, and one day is for the owner of the house. You got to humble yourself and allow God to use you at His time. You're going to humble yourself and allow God to show you what to do at a given point of time. Because if you don't allow God to direct you, you are going to lose it and you will crash so quickly. I pray this word blesses your heart. God bless you and have a wonderful one.